Is the U.S. petrodollar dead or is it just wounded? This is a wild story. I originally reported on this almost a year ago. In the ever-evolving landscape of the global energy markets and finance, few concepts have sparked much debate as the petrodollar, coined to describe the system where all oil is predominantly priced and traded in U.S. dollars. Michael, this arrangement underpinned American economic dominance for decades. But what happened just recently to spark a rewrite of this article, Michael? Saudi Arabia just signed a deal with Pakistan to have energy security with their nuclear missiles. So I go through this article and I talk about how this has worked out. The other estimates peg the U.S. dollar share in global reserves a slow bleed. A key metric for the U.S. petrodollar is the U.S. dollar's dominance in foreign exchange reserves. As of Q2 of 2025, the dollar holds 56.32% of the allocated reserves, down from 57 in Q1 and a peak of 73% in 2000. This is a slow bleed by 1,000 cuts. And when you sit back and take a look at there's a chart in here, Michael, the gold rush, the central bank's hedge against the U.S. dollar uncertainty. And I go into further in here. The U.S. has done it to ourselves over the last 10 years of sanctioning and the weaponization of oil sanctions. We are following the same path as the British sterling pound. And when you sit back and take a look, are we dead yet? No. In the middle of this article, I talk about the new trading blocks that you've heard me talk about. I think what we saw last week with the huge investment from Saudi Arabia in the United States, I think as we build our remanufacturing onshore, the U.S. dollar can be replaced instead of the petrodollar. We can have it really fan out. Is it dead? It's wounded, but not out yet.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think it's out. I don't know if it'll ever be out completely. You look at the share of the global reserve currencies. That chart's really interesting. I highly recommend people checking that out on energynewsbeat.com. There's definitely a contraction since kind of the peak in 2014 to 2016, but that's really only because gold has taken more share away than any other currency. This chart, one of the reasons I love a good stacked bar chart at 100% is you can see the market share. And the French franc is falling. The sterling hasn't really increased much, and the other one in there, the yen, hasn't increased much at all. The only thing that's changed is the ratio of gold, really in the last 15, 20 years, of the ratio of gold to the US dollar. So I think it's slightly different to say that. The euro obviously has taken some market share away from both gold and the US when it was introduced. But no, I don't think the petrodollar is going to necessarily be dead. It's obviously the weaponization that has happened with the dollar, both in the in the Obama, Biden, and now Trump administration. How they've weaponized the dollar has forced a lot of these countries now to figure out other ways to do that. I mean, that's like shooting yourself in the left foot because your right foot hurts. It's like, what pain do we want? So no, do I think we're going away from this? Absolutely not. But I do think our power from a global reserve currency standpoint hurts. And that hurts, you, the investor. I mean, you think about
yes, it does.
Specifically from the standpoint of energy investing, if the commodity in which you are investing in is not priced in the currency in which is your currency, United States, we've seen what happened to these companies based in London trade at a discount relative to their U.S. counterparts. If that happens, you're going to find United States companies trading at a discount relative to their international peers. Now, do I think that's going to happen? Absolutely not. But that's the fear.
You bet. Hey, I found a lot of this information from Jack Crandell. I visited with him last week while he was in Sweden, and he's got the Merchant News Substack, and I've got a podcast in December that I'll be talking with him about more of that worldwide type stuff. So very hats off to him.